In the division problem related to fractions, we say that if there were two fractions, say that a over b to be divided with c over d. And that division problem can easily be converted to a fraction multiplication problem because it's easier to deal with multiplication, right? So we say that the trick to do is you simply write the first fraction, the one which is in the dividend, right, as it is, obtain a multiplication sign, and then find the inverse of this fraction, the one which is in divisor, right? So c over d, the inverse of that will be d over c. And now this is your multiplication problem, and the answer to this would be a times d over b times c. So this is how you solve any fraction division problem, by first converting that into a multiplication problem by simply finding the inverse of the divisor. Okay, so we are not going to go into the details or the proof of this because we have already done that in our lower grades. But now let us apply this fundamental to solve some word problems related to the fractions division. So here is our scenario. There is a bookshelf that is 54.5 inches long. Okay, we want to find out how many books this bookshelf will hold if each book is 2.5 inches thick. Okay, so let's draw a diagram to explain this problem a little better. So if this is the total length of my bookshelf, and that is 54.5 inches long, right? So in that case, if I say my each book has a thickness, that thickness is whatever we have the number here, then how many books I can hold on this one. So what I do is I first assume that there are n number of books on this bookshelf that have been stacked right next to each other. Okay, since they have been stacked next to each other, I would say that this n number of books will occupy a space, or the total width will be n times 2.5, right? And this should be equal to 54.5, right? Because that is the total width available to me, or the total length available to me of this bookshelf, right? So that means my n can be simply found by taking this number 54.5 and by dividing that with 2.5, right? So the very first thing we'll do is we will convert each one of those mixed fractions into their equivalent improper form. So 54.5, it can be converted to 2 times 54 is 108 plus 1, 109 over 2, right? Divided by the second fraction is 2.5, that will be 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1, 5, divided by 5 over 2. And that is equal to my number n. N is the number of books, right? Let's convert this to a fraction multiplication problem. I write the number 109 over 2 as it is. Division sign can become a multiplication sign, and the fraction which is in the divisor gets inverse, and then it becomes 2 over 5. Okay, now you can cancel out this 2 from the denominator with the 2 in the numerator, and then this will give you equal to 109 over 5. Okay, now let us convert this improper form into its equivalent mixed form. So n is equal to 109 over 5, and it can be stated as 21/4 over 5. That means 21/4 is the number of books I can put on this bookshelf, right? But here is a problem. We know that 21 is a whole number and 4/5 is a fraction. You cannot have a book that is available only as a fractional unit to you. You either have a 0 book or 1 book or 2 books, meaning you always have the whole number when it comes to books. Okay, so this 21/4 over 5 is probably not going to work out for us, so we will eliminate this fractional part. We will say that the max number of books we can hold on this bookshelf is equal to 21. Okay, so as simple as it is, this is how you solve your fraction division problem, and the trick is in understanding this problem statement and converting that problem statement into its respective diagram if you require one. So another scenario we have is that the product of two numbers is 8, 4 over 5, right? If one of them is 2, 1 over 5, find their sum. So let's say my two numbers are A times B, and that is equal to 8, 4 over 5, okay? So I need to find their sum, that will be A plus B, and we need to find it. Okay, now we know that one of them is 2, 1 over 5. So if I simply replace A with 2, 1 over 5 times B, and that can be equated to 8, 4 over 5. Or in other words, you can state that b is equal to 8 4 over 5 divided by 2 1 over 5. Now you will wonder that how come we arrived at this step so quickly all of a sudden? Well, if you look at here, there is 2 1/5 in multiplication with b. All I'm doing is I'm transposing this number to the right hand side of this equal sign, and when I do this, this number 2 1/5, it goes in the division of 8 4 over 5. And that is how you could arrive at this step. Okay, so now let's try to solve it. So let's convert this to an improper form. So 8 times 5 is 40 plus 4 will be 44 over 5 divided with 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1 is 11 over 5, right? So you can say that now I can convert this division problem into a multiplication problem by simply rewriting my numbers to be as it is on the dividend side, multiplication sign, and then I find the inverse of the divisor, and that becomes 5 over 11. Now you see it's quite easy. The 5 cancels and 11 can divide 44 by simply stating that 11 times 4 is 44. So let me write this in the black ink here. So this is 4. Okay. The number b is equal to 4 just by following from these 3 steps. All right. So this is your number. Now you can simply find their sum. A, that is 2 1 over 5, plus b, that is 4, is equal to 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1 is 11 over 5 plus 4, and that will be 11 plus 20 divided by 5, and it is 31 over 5. So you see, in this example, not only you got to learn about the division problem, you also learned about the addition problem of the two fractions. Okay. So with that, our summary is that the fraction division problem is very straightforward. You need to convert every division problem into a multiplication and go from there. When you are dealing with a word problem, you try to convert your word problem into your respective diagram and then you go from there. And that is all about fractions division.